Yeah. Been that dude, so they all better take heed. Got the haters going ghost like they Patrick Swayze. I've been talking real shit, y'all been talking crazy. I've been on some new shit, y'all been acting lazy. I've been it, so my words are gon' make it float. I'm like dry ice mixed with alcohol in a bowl. Or below zero winter, go and grab a coat. What else can I say? The kid is just too cold. Never told a fib, was born just too bold. Never had to fold, but did break the mold. And as the story's told, if you didn't know, I'm running up the scope. This is DMO. Can you hear me? There's some of them minds, man, they better fear me. They need glasses, they can't see it clearly. I don't chase the money, it just like to come near me. Yearly, truly, my life is a movie. Took her on a date once, now she tryna groove me. I'm really that guy, they gon' have to sue me. Then had the juice, time to mix it like a smoothie. Gruely, they asked me how I get up, I told them had to start down. Found me some real ones, now I got a crew now. Met a loyal girl, 4 years later, that's my boo wow. And now I'm out here giving new sounds like boom pow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Haven for yet another week of the Helmet Haven Football Fuck Up Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are past week 5 now, and it's, Kenny, I think the NFL script writers are on crack. Or meth, or... They're on some sort of crazy fucking drug.
Yeah, I think so too, because holy crap, has it been quite a season so far.
I guess first things first, the guys, if you're a Dolphins fan, pop the champagne. The 72 Dolphins stand alone once again as the only team to go undefeated in a season. And that's just the tip of the iceberg for this week. Kenny, you said we have a pretty short news segment, so why don't we hop right into it? Let's go ahead with it.
All right, so first off, this just happened, I think, 2 days ago. The Ravens traded Dafe Owe and a 7th-round pick to the Chargers for Lohi Gilman and a 5th-rounder.
Trade deadline obviously coming up, so obviously we're gonna be seeing quite a few moves. Quite frankly, Kenny, I wouldn't be surprised if we have like a few moves that are announced while we're recording this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Next up, we have Jerry Jones being fined $250K for flipping off opposing fans, apparently.
Yeah, I saw the clip of that. That was
That was quite something.
You know what? It gave me a good laugh. It gave me a good laugh, if nothing else.
Colts have signed kicker Michael Badgley.
The Money Badger.
Next up, we have an instant impact trade. Joe Flacco has been traded to the Cincinnati Bengals for a 5th-round pick. Cincinnati also gets a 6th-round pick alongside Flacco.
Cincinnati be like, Joe will start Sunday. Bengals fans be like, Burrow? Cincinnati just looks at them.
All right, Traylon Burks has been cleared to play. That's cool, I guess. Raiders have released Jerome Pratt already after only having him for about 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, no, that was
apparently sucks.
Going back to the Joe Flacco trade real quick. I do want to say this, guys. Joe Flacco has the chance to do the funniest shit ever and beat the Packers twice this year.
Yep, we'll get to that when we get to predictions. Christian Watson has been cleared to go back to practice. So another receiver joins that, let's be honest, pretty mid Packers receiver room.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Packers receivers are really a dime a dozen. Like, 1 week one goes off, the next week it's another one, the next week it's Josh Jacobs, you know. Like I said, Packers receivers are a dime a dozen.
In news before the Week 5 game, Taysom Hill has returned to play football.
Taysom, what position do you play? I say yes, Hill. I say yes.
Yes, for those that do not know, I believe he tore his ACL or something like that last year near the end of the year. So that's what he's coming back from. In other news, Arthur Jones passed away at 39, former Ravens defensive tackle.
Rest in peace, Mr. Defense.
Players of the month for each side. We have the AFC being James Cook, Devin Lloyd, and Spencer Schrader. And on the NFC side, we have Bijan Robinson, Byron Young, and Brandon Aubrey.
You know, I do want to say for Bijan, that's well earned. Bijan's been playing out of his mind.
Same thing with James Cook, showing he earned that contract extension.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Jets signed Khalil Herbert, a name you know very well.
Yeah, local Chicago midget.
Head coach Jonathan Glennon was fined $100K for, I believe it was hitting DiMercato after he fumbled.
Also, I let me just say, DiMercato, what are you doing, bro? We really 2 weeks in a row that we have to preach ball security before you cross the goal line.
I know, it's crazy. Guard Lucas Patrick has been designated to return for Cincinnati, and this is a perfect time for him to be returning, considering they have Green Bay next.
Oh, yeah.
Colts signed Jermaine Pratt, by the way, so he was only on free agency for about a day or two, and then he's right back with the team again. Let's see. That's for injury corner. Players for week 5 of the week. We have the NFC side. We have Rico Dowdle. Holy shit, did he go? By the way.
Oh my God, Rico Dowdle, like goat, absolute goat. The man went off.
Kool-Aid McKinstry was the defensive player.
Yeah.
And another name you know on special teams, Eddie Pinheiro.
You know, I have a very dark history with Eddie Pinheiro.
Excuse my co-host while he rocks in the corner when talking about the double doink.
That was Cody Parkey, but still. That was Cody.
Same difference. For the AFC side, the special teams player is Shamir Dyke, I believe. I believe he blocked, or no, he did the kick return touchdown or punt return touchdown, one or the other. Defensively, you have Nick Benito, who's actually leading the league in sacks with 7. And then a guy you'll be talking about in your segment, CJ Stroud, wins offensive player.
And you know what? It's about time. CJ's been lacking most of this season. It was good to see him have a good week where he finally lived up to the athleticism he was coined to have.
News for tonight's game: Tyron Tracy is expected to return for the game tonight.
Yeah, no, I actually saw that this morning when I opened my fantasy app. Although I will say this, I do expect that Scatabo will continue to get most touches over Tyron Tracy.
Yeah, at least for the next couple of weeks while they probably work him back in. Then it'll probably be like a fair split between the two. Probably.
Yeah, for those of you that are like me and own both on your fantasy team, if you're fortunate enough to own both, like I said, Scatabo is definitely the one you want to leave in right now.
Kamani Vidal has signed to the Chargers active roster. Lions have signed Dan Skipper to the active roster from their practice squad. This is some interesting news. Caleb Williams is actually partial investor in a Boston Legacy football league.
Yeah, soccer club. Team. All I have to say is great. Now Chicago fans are gonna pretend to care about soccer as if we haven't been saying it's a fake sport for the last 20 years.
I was going to say, good for Caleb. He has something to fall back on when this quarterback thing doesn't work.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Here's low-key a blockbuster trade that happened late last night. As Browns send Greg Rousseau and a 6th-round pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars for Tyson Campbell in the 7th.
Okay, yeah.
They have a little cornerback swap there for those two teams. Let's see. The Chargers are expected to get Denzel Perriman back this week against the Miami Dolphins. Raiders signed Jaden Davis.
Actually, no, I'll hold on to that.
And Chargers signed halfback Naheem Hines to the practice squad. That is it for the actual news.
All right, guys, so that does it for the news. From the news, we always go to the injury corner where we give you a quick recap of the injuries that were had this past week. So
And this was another one where we lost some pretty big names, I'd say.
yeah, but you know what? I would also argue it wasn't nearly as bad as some other weeks we've had this season.
First off, we have tight end Brendan Strange of the Jacksonville Jaguars will miss 4 weeks. That was their lead receiver before Week 5's game.
Does this mean Brian Thomas Jr. will maybe get some, looks? Maybe?
Maybe. Omarion Hampton is officially placed on the 4-week IR. Hence the signings by the Chargers, running back wise. Cornerback Terrion Arnold for the Detroit Lions is expected to miss significant time, no timetable for return currently. Pats running back Antonio Gibson has torn his ACL and will be out for the season. Jalen Coker of the Panthers is expected to return to the field shortly. That will be a big boost for Bryce Young. Cowboys have placed Amani Hooker on IR. I don't know how long that's supposed to be. Breland Allen of the Jets is expected to miss 8 to 12 weeks with a head injury. I'm going to skip that one because he doesn't matter as much. Jets corner Michael Carter is expected to miss at least a week while he goes through concussion protocol. The Giants have already rolled out 2 linebackers and Darius Slayton for tonight's game. That's not great considering pretty sure Slayton's like your second wide receiver, and now.
Well, yeah, now that means the Giants are down both him and Neighbors.
Obviously, Hampton was placed on IR. And that is actually it for injury corner. So pretty light injury corner.
Yeah, pretty abbreviated injury corner, guys. But from there, we Kenny, do you want to do the 30-second timeout first, or do you want to do recap and predictions first?
I feel like recap and predictions makes more sense because we haven't been live for that long. So.
All right. From there, we go to the recap and predictions, starting, of course, off with the recap of this past week, which of course happened on this past Thursday night, where I'm not gonna lie, we actually got a pretty decent game.
Yeah, we got the 49ers outlasting the Rams 26-23 in what was a Mac Jones coming out game, honestly.
Yeah, it really was. It was kind of crazy to see, but nonetheless, like I can't remember the last time we had even a decent Thursday night game, so that was definitely a little refreshing.
Also, for those that do not know, Mac Jones and Stafford combined for actually over 700 yards and 5 touchdowns. Kendrick Bourne had 142 of those for Mac Jones. And obviously, Puka balled out with 85 and a touchdown. Which, by the way, guys, Puka has now caught 50 passes in 5 weeks.
That is insane.
And by the way, 85, I believe, is the lowest of the season for him. So,
bro, Puka's out here putting up Madden numbers in real life.
Next up, we have Minnesota barely outlasting Cleveland 21-17. Special shout out to Dylan Gabriel, though. He did pretty good for his first start. Also, eat shit, Shitter Sanders.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, guys, the Browns still did not commit to Shitter being quarterback 2. So, yeah.
Bro,
Justin Jefferson
that would mean that Joe Flacco is off the roster, and he still ain't even QB2.
Judkins had 23 carries for 110. So, pretty good game there. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next game, where the Houston Texans absolutely beat the ever-loving shit out of the carcass that was Baltimore 44-10.
Tonight on That's So Raven.
Stroud had 244 yards and 4 touchdowns, and Petrie had 2 interceptions. That's the only people I spotlight in that game because there's no reason to spotlight Baltimore players.
Yeah, no. Baltimore is continuing to be the league's toilet this year. I truly don't understand it. Baltimore is a better team than this. So to see them struggling like this, it's there's obviously gotta be some major problem from within the organization.
Next, we have Miami losing to Carolina 24-27. Rico Dowdle had 23 carries, 206 yards, and a touchdown. That's quarterback stat line, dude.
Yeah, for real. For real. Rico Dowdle out here putting up mad numbers in real life, too, just like Puka.
Waddle also had 125 yards and a touchdown, so that was good for him.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle finally coming out, finally having a good game now that Tyreek Hill's done.
Another absolute beatdown is Indianapolis slaps around the Vegas Raiders 40-6.
Yeah, this one was not pretty. Jonathan Taylor had 3 touchdowns.
And Daniel Jones continues to not really turn the ball over very much either. So.
Yeah, I can't believe that we all bought for years that Daniel Jones was a crap quarterback. Like, the dude's actually kind of balling.
You know, New York Giants are punching air. Not only did their bad quarterback on their team do good, but they let Saquon win a Super Bowl with an opposing team.
Yeah, for real.
Damn. All right, next up we have New York losing to New Orleans 14-26.
I would definitely call this the upset of the week. I'm not going to lie. I did not have the Saints beating the Giants, but you know what? New York was literally trying to hand them this game, and when you're playing a team like New York, who at least tries, you're going to lose if you try to give up the game.
Yep, Theo Johnson had 2 touchdowns for the Giants, and Shaheed had 114 yards and a touchdown for New Orleans. Next up, we have Dallas beating the Jets 37-22. That got really close in garbage time, but it was basically in hand by the time it got close. So.
Man, poor Justin Fields. Poor Justin Fields.
By the way, guys, real quick, I want to make this clear. We are going to have one of these teams involved in a tank bowl later. We do have a little abbreviation next to that, but we'll get to that when we get to the predictions.
Yeah. As for me to finish my thought, man, poor Justin Fields. I'm man enough to say it. Justin Fields is not the guy. If you think he is, then you really need to do some deep self-reflection. Do I think he could have been good? Absolutely. But I think this kid has been failed.
I do agree. I think that Chicago failed him, and then he got failed by the Steelers as well. And now he's like, you can tell he's not the same player that he was when he came out.
No, his confidence is completely shot. He's in year 5 and still making rookie mistakes. Like I said, guys, Justin Fields could have been good, probably, but let's just face it, the kid was failed.
Next up, I'm going to say what happened, and then I'm going to pause for a minute to let my co-host here have what he wants to do. Denver beats Philadelphia 21-17.
Hey, Philly. See, this is what happens when your offense can't play a full 60 minutes. Oh, Kenny, this half literally went the same as every other Eagles game. Dominant first half, and then the second half, your offense just stops working. What, three consecutive 3-and-outs? Are you kidding me? And we're supposed to believe Jalen Hurts is a top 5 QB?
By the way, I want to point out, too, Jalen did have 200-some-odd yards and 2 touchdowns, but it's not really that impressive when you lose and you were touted to be this guy that can beat anybody and you guys dismiss opponents every week.
Yeah, no, it's really just it's really becoming sad for the defending Super Bowl champs who really didn't lose a lot during the offseason. A lot of that core is still there.
All right, so low-key, we have another game that we can laugh at here that we didn't mention before. Tennessee beats the Cardinals 22-21.
Bro, I don't know how this didn't become a greatest game on Urinating Trees channel. This wasn't even a football game. This was absolute cinema. That's what this was. This was cinema.
And good job, Tennessee. You escaped the winless team category, and with that, the only winless team left is the Jets. Next up, we have the Bucks out-dueling Seattle 38-35.
Yeah, let me just say, Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold apparently decided to become Prime Manning and Brady for the day. Because holy smokes!
Yeah, Baker threw for 379 and 2 touchdowns. Sam Darnold actually threw for, I think that's at 341 or 391, something like that, and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, this game was absolutely insane, and I think it's time we finally just award this name to Baker Mayfield. We need to start referring to him as Big Dick Baker.
Also,
every field that man plays on has become his personal red carpet for him to drag his nuts across.
Also, shout out to your former Ohio State wide receiver Mbuka, who had 163 yards and a touchdown today, or that on that day.
Amika Egbigboo, if you're Gronk.
Next up, we have Detroit beating Cincinnati 37-24. This was expected, but it was closer than expected to.
Yeah, Cincinnati obviously struggling without Joe Burrow. Jake Browning obviously hasn't been the answer. They're bringing in Joe Flacco. Poor Joe Flacco. He's going to die.
Okay, so Commanders beat the Chargers 27-10. You already know what happened in this game. Lost a tackle, and then everything went to shit.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what? It kind of sucks because I was actually kind of pulling for you guys to pull out the win because I really don't want Kansas City even in that race. Luckily, Kansas City lost this week too, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. By the way, for you guys that have him, Lad McConkey finally got a touchdown.
That was called back.
Yay! No, he actually had one early on, too. That wasn't called back. He actually, I think, he had the only Chargers touchdown this game, so...
The only thing I remember from that game was the one that was called back, and I was like, "Are you kidding? He finally did something!" Oh, never mind.
Next up, we have that arguably the upset of the week too. You could say as the Pats defeat the Bills 23-20.
Yeah. Let me just say, Drake May. I think we might be in trouble with Drake May. This kid is evolving into Tom Brady week by week.
And what's unfair is it didn't even take like a decade for them to get another Brady. It only took 5 years.
Yeah, for real. It only took them half the time for them to find another Brady. This is so unfair.
Then there's you, who's a Chicago fan, who's still searching for one Brady.
Yeah, for real, man. Man, the Bears, we could have had Jaden Daniels or Drake May, but we had to go with that bum-ass Caleb.
Next up, another laughing session as the Jacksonville Jaguars defeat Kansas City 31-28 on Monday Night Football.
The Chiefs have a losing record. Let me just say that final touchdown from T-Law is literally the perfect depiction of his NFL career. He fell over twice, but then was somehow able to make it into some sort of crazy-ass play.
I also want to make sure people know that he didn't fall over by himself. His guard stepped on his foot.
Yeah, and then he tripped over himself trying to get up.
And then yet he still got in for the touchdown. By the way, shout out to Chris Jones, who if it wasn't for who won our fuck up of the week, would probably be our fuck up of the week.
Yeah, for real. He quit mid-play. He just gave up. Thus allowing Jacksonville to pull ahead and win.
We have now finished the Week 5 recap.
Well, guys, from the recap into the predictions, and this week is not very big on tank bowls, but we do have an injury bowl to mention in. So let's hop into it. We got the game. We're starting off, of course, with the game that's happening tonight.
Yep, we have Philadelphia traveling to the Meadowlands to take on the Giants.
Now I wanna
mean-
say that Philly's gonna win, like and like convincingly. But if we continue to get the same Philadelphia that we've been seeing since week 1, where they quit after the first half, I kind of think that the Giants do maybe stand a chance. And I feel so wrong saying that, but like I feel like it's the truth.
Yeah, we're both going to go Philly here, but Philadelphia better not fuck around, or they're going to find out.
Yeah. Jackson Dart and Cameron Scadaboo are not people to f around with, because you will indeed find out.
Next up, we have Denver traveling to New York to take on the Jets. Denver.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Denver here. They have a big
I'm
win
not
over the
wasting
defending
my time
champs,
here.
and the Jets are winless. So
I'm not wasting too much time here, but as much as I don't think Bo Nix is that good of a quarterback, they have momentum coming in, and that's all they really need.
yeah.
Next up, we have the Rams traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Rams probably beat them quite badly.
Yeah, I expect the Rams to big dick the Ravens. The Ravens are just a complete mess.
I mean, Ravens just let up 44 against the Texans, who showed like nothing before that game.
Yeah,
So,
it's bad. It's bad if you're a Baltimore fan.
Baltimore fans, you might want to close your eyes because Puka's going to be open a lot.
Yeah.
Next up, we have one of our 2 tank bowls. Please keep in mind we are excluding Dak Prescott from this tank bowl, even though we're on the Cowboys, as they take on Carolina in Carolina.
Yeah, obviously, guys, we did have to mention to exclude Dak Prescott. As much as we like to dunk on him a lot, the guy has been balling this season. But nonetheless, this is a tank bowl, and I'm not gonna lie, Kenny. I'm gonna call this my upset of the week. Carolina beats Dallas.
I can definitely see that happening. It is in Carolina, so Dallas does not have home field advantage. And with how bad Dallas defense has been playing and how good Tet has been playing specifically, I don't think there's a way that Dallas can actually beat Carolina, though they're going to keep it close because that's what Dax does, but still.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Arizona traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Daniel Jones-led Colts.
Yeah, Colts win this.
Colts.
Come on. I mean, Arizona just lost to Tennessee.
Yeah, when you lose to Tennessee, you're going to lose to Indy too. It's just inevitable at that
Yeah,
point.
no, it's just a fact of life.
Next up, Tim, we have actually a heavyweight clash as Seattle takes on Jacksonville in Jacksonville.
A surprising heavyweight clash at that.
Yeah, we have Sam Darnold versus T-Law. If I would have told you 3 years ago that would be a heavyweight clash, you'd probably have me institutionalized.
Yeah, definitely. This one is actually really hard to call.
Well, let's look here. Seattle just lost to Tampa, so they're looking for a bounce back spot. And Jacksonville's coming off a statement win against Kansas City.
You know, just because of what you just mentioned, I'm going to go with Jacksonville here. Just because, like I said, I feel like they're coming off a huge win. That, like you said, that is a statement win that they made on primetime this week.
Yep, and keep in mind, Jacksonville is 4-1 right now. What the hell? So yeah, I'm going Jacksonville too. Seattle's going to keep it close though.
Oh, I definitely 100% agree. I expect a close game.
Next up, we have the Chargers traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. I'm sorry, I'm still picking the Chargers. Dolphins are butts.
Yeah, no, the Dolphins are ass. Quite frankly, Kenny, if you guys lose to the Dolphins, just become a Tampa Bay fan. It'd be less embarrassing.
Just switch to Tampa for the rest of the year.
Yeah, for real. If you guys lose to the Dolphins, but yeah, I'm going Chargers.
Next up, we have Cleveland traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.
Steelers win. I mean, is this really even a question?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Cleveland did low-key kind of pick apart Minnesota's defense, which is definitely better than what we've seen out of the Steelers.
That
But
is
with that
true.
being said,
It's still the
Dylan Gabriel's
Browns, though.
still a
That's the
rookie.
thing. It's the Browns.
And also, Dylan Gabriel's still a rookie. So, as much as we like dunking on Aaron Rodgers, we still cannot say a rookie's better than him.
Yeah,
So,
no.
we're going Pittsburgh there. This one would have been the Tank Bowl a few weeks ago, but New England traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Both these teams coming off of wins.
Yeah, you know what? Both of them New England coming off a huge win, beating the undefeated Buffalo Bills, and obviously New Orleans beating the Jackson Dart-led Giants. I'm not gonna lie, I like I said, it's so unfair, but I gotta go with Drake May and the Patriots. It's I hate saying that. Oh.
No, but in one season, basically, Drake May has proven if you put pieces around him that are at least competent, he can win with them. So I'm gonna go with New England too. New Orleans, I think, puts up a fight, but I think they lose here and then they start their fire sale. Next up, we have our second Tank Bowl of the week. As we have two teams coming off very different games. As Tennessee traveled to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders, I'm going Tennessee here.
Yeah, I'm going Tennessee here as well. Although I will say this, after the game they just had with Carolina, if this matchup with the Raiders is anything even close to that, we're gonna need more than just sky cams. We're gonna need a whole film crew out there.
Most definitely, and again, it's what I've said every week. Vegas has shown us no reason to pick them.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's bad if you're a Vegas Raiders fan. Geno, I also just want to say this: Geno Smith has been ass this season.
He leads the league in interceptions, by the way, with 9 in 5 weeks. That's bad.
Yeah, no, that's real bad.
All right, next up, Tame, we have the Injury Bowl.
Oh boy. Give it a second, it's loading up.
As we have San Francisco traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. And I tell you, if we said Mac Jones was playing Baker Mayfield in this game, we would probably just instantly assume Baker's winning. But Mac's getting kind of balling out.
Yeah, San Francisco really isn't doing anything to beat the allegations that they could put a pair of dirty underwear at quarterback and still succeed.
And, I mean, this is going to be a close one, but I think I'm going to go with Tampa only because they are at home and Baker, as you have already mentioned, loves dragging his nuts across your face.
Yeah, I'm going with Tampa just simply because I don't want Big Dick Baker to come after me.
Yeah, he might send Chris Godwin or something like that after you. So, or maybe he sends Vita Vea and he just sits on you.
No, let me just say, I'm picking Tampa for the simple reason of I don't want to end up on that dude's bad side.
All right, next up we have the Cincinnati Bengals, now led by Joe Flacco, taking on the Green Bay Packers. Joe, please. Please, for the love of God, do the most funny thing ever.
Please, football gods. Joe Flacco has the chance to do the funniest shit. Please. Please.
And you know what?
With that said, I am going Cincinnati.
I'm also going Cincinnati too because fuck the Packers. As you and I can both agree on that topic for sure.
Agreed. Yes.
All right, next up we have. This would have been a heavyweight clash if you told us at the beginning of the year, but now it's kind of turned into a heavyweight versus what the hell is going on here, as Detroit travels to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs.
Yeah, I feel like Detroit's going to big dick the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are going to continue to lose games because, quite frankly, Detroit's been ripping everyone apart.
Now, I do want to make sure everyone knows this is the last week they will not have Rashee Rice on the field. And when they get Rashee Rice back, we'll see how the offense looks. But right now, honestly, based off of just what we've seen from the Chiefs this year, I think Detroit slaps the ever-loving shit out of them. Like, I have no reason to think that Detroit can't beat them.
Yeah, no. If you think the Chiefs have a chance in this game, you're probably a Chiefs fan. Anyone with a realistic mind knows that Detroit's going to go in there and bite kneecaps.
Also, Dan Campbell, if you're listening to this, Isaac Tesla did play quarterback in college. Maybe try out some trick plays with him. Just saying. All right, next up we have 2 Monday night games, which I really hate when they do this.
Yeah, I don't know why we keep doing Monday night doubleheaders. It's really dumb.
We have what will probably be a very pissed off Bills team traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons.
I'm going the Bills here. I know they're coming off a loss to the Patriots, but like you said, they're probably pretty pissed off.
Yeah, I think Buffalo manhandles Atlanta. So next up, we have a rematch of the game that absolutely broke the Chicago Bears' spines last year as Chicago travels to Washington to take on the Commanders.
And from what I've seen, Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin will play this week. I don't know, man. I don't know. This like I said last week, guys, this is the one I'm on the fence about. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games where it's hard to tell because Jaden honestly has not looked that great, but Caleb is also Caleb, so you don't know what you're going to get from him. It really depends on who you trust more on, like, the defensive side.
Well, let's look at it this way, right? The Chicago defense has been struggling. There's no questions about that. The defense has been struggling, which is weird to say about a Chicago Bears team. I feel like Jaden Daniels still excels against bad defenses.
By the way, just for the record, Nick, Terry McLaurin has missed yet another practice, so his status is still unknown for the game.
Yeah, from what I've seen as of right now, he is still expected to play, though. It is questionable, but from what I've seen as of right now, he is estimated for points, and he will play.
All right. And yeah, I think this is a tough one because, again, it really depends on which Caleb you get. But I do think Washington wins this one. They are at home, which is the main reason I'm picking.
Yeah, that is going to definitely play a factor. I do feel like that home field advantage might play a little bit into the psyche of the Chicago offense, which, yeah, you know what? You know, now that I think about it, going back to the game against the Raiders, the defense was the one that was stout and the offense was flat. So, but then, the week before, obviously, the offense is out there balling, the defense is...
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If both sides of the ball can click at the same time, then I feel like the Bears can win. But we really need it. We really need it all to just come together. Otherwise, I feel like, just like last season, this could be the game that breaks us.
Yeah, I believe the record's the same as it was when you played Washington, too. Or pretty close. So, does that mean you're picking Washington or Chicago?
I am going to go Chicago. I think that this might be the week coming off of the bye that Ben Johnson finally can put it all together.
All right, and that does it for week 6.
From there, guys, we, of course, leave the recap, and we head into the 30-second timeout, which I feel like there's only one thing to really talk about in this 30-second timeout. Penn State. How the hell do you lose to the winless UCLA?
Yeah, that's crazy, honestly.
For those of
This
you
would
that
be
missed
like
it,
if-
UCLA had not even led a football game all season. They not only had their first lead against Penn State, but they win against the number 7 ranked Penn State. Oh my God, Nittany Lions fans, if you thought it was bad, it's so much worse than you could have ever imagined. And to think that this is supposed to be one of the best Penn State teams that they have marched out in a generation. No, this team's a joke. And let me just say, as an Ohio State fan, couldn't be happier.
Also, I want to point out, guys, for those that do not watch college football and need it put into NFL terms, this would be like if the Jets beat the Bills.
Yeah. It's pretty much the equivalent of that. It's bad. It's real bad.
And that does it for the 30-second timeout. What are we going to next?
From there, we go into Draft Royalty, sponsored by DraftKings. Not really sponsored by DraftKings. Please don't sue us. Please don't. And Kenny, if I remember correctly, I think you beat me this week.
Yes, I'm going to go over the points here because you did it the last 2 weeks. I figured it's only fair.
That, of course, guys,
go
makes
through
me
on this
2-3 on the season. Kenny is at 3-2.
All right, so I had Jackson Dart, who had 18.5. You had Justin Fields, who had 25.9. So you did better than me at quarterback.
Yeah, I definitely picked a pretty hot quarterback for the week.
I picked ETN with 8.8. You picked Walker with 9.6. So a little closer there. Then I actually picked Amarian Hampton, who had 13 before his injury. You picked Scadabo, who had 15.4. So up to that point, you were doing really good, Tame. We both picked Amon-Ra St. Brown, who scored 21. And then this is when it starts going downhill for you, bud.
Well, not quite yet,
Rondo,
because we picked the same receiver for the second one too.
It's about to get there though. I picked Rondell Moore, who had 8.2. You had Chris Godwin, who had 5.6. We tied with Quentin Johnston, so I've really only beat you in one of these categories up to this point.
Really, yeah.
And then this happened. I had Darren Waller, who had 18.8. You had Dallas Goedert, who had 10.9.
Yeah, and then the flex is really what killed me. The flex.
And guys, this is where Nick basically lost on this pick alone, basically. I picked Breece Hall, who had 21.5. He picked Jacoby Myers, who had 7.2. And to finish it off, I had the Lions, who had 10 points on defense, and the Giants only produced 1 for him.
Yeah,
so
I feel like the Giants' defense was supposed to be better than that, but you know what?
I had 127.78, and he had 104.52.
All right, guys. From Draft Royalty, we continue our fantasy. We continue our fantasy talk with the fantasy football roundup. Kenny, do you want to go first, or should I?
You can go first.
Oh, guys, the season's over. Season's over. We're 0-5, and this was the best chance we had at getting a win. Starting with the quarterbacks, I had Daniel Jones, obviously, because Joe Burrow's hurt. He had 20.6. My opponent had Patrick Mahomes, who had 31.7. Fuck you, Patrick Mahomes. I hate you. Die in a hole. I hope you tear your fucking scrotum. Moving on to the running backs, I had Cam Scadabo, who had 16.4. He had Javonte Williams, who had 28.9. Second running back, I had Michael Carter, who had 18.3. He had Alvin Kamara, who had 9.5. Let me just say, was not expecting... Excuse me. I was not expecting Michael Carter to go off like that, but I'm happy he did. Moving on to the wide receivers, I had Michael Pittman, who had 14.9. He had Jacoby Myers with 7.2. Second wide receiver, I had Marvin Harrison with 13.8, who is off my roster, by the way. made a stupid trade because, again, my team is a liquidation sale disguised as a football team. So we traded him for Hollywood Brown just for Brown to ride the bench the rest of the season. Just maybe throw him in if I desperately need to throw someone in there. He had Chris Olave with 12.9. I had Zay Flowers with 12.2. He had Devontae Adams with 13.8. Moving on to the tight ends, I had T.J. Hawkinson with 9.8. He had Chig Okonkwo with 8.8. In the flex, I had Keon Coleman with 12.3. He had Chase Brown with 11.8. Kickers, Jake Elliott with 5. Harrison Butker with 4. Defenses, we both had 8. I had the Bills. He had the Cardinals. So yeah, guys. Ended up losing this week, 136.62 to 131.38. And it really sucked because I was winning all the way up to the fourth quarter of the Monday night game. So, again, die in a hole, Patrick Mahomes. I hope you tear your fucking scrotum. I hope you do.
All right, next up we'll go to mine. We go from Nick's bad experience to my good one. As I had Baker Mayfield, who had 26.66. Devil's number there, by the way. He had Carson Wentz, who had 14.74. I had at running back one. Running back one. I actually had to start Saquon this week, which I originally wasn't wanting to do. But Chuba Hubbard was out with an injury, so I kind of had to. But he had 17.8. He had Isaiah Pacheco, who had 8.5. I had Quinson Junkins, who had 13.8. He had Jordan Mason, who had 12.6. I have, I guess, Nick's somewhat boy, Nico Collins, who had 16.
Yeah, definitely.
He had Justin Jefferson, who had 19.3. I had JSN, who gave me 27.2. He had Chris Olave, who had 12.9. Trey McBride, who had 9. He had Brock Bowers, who he did not have time to switch out, unfortunately, so he got 0 points there since Brock missed last week. I had your boy from Ohio State, Mbuka, who got me 31.3.
Again, Big Boo, if you're Gronk.
And then he had Travis Hunter, who had 9.4. I had Chase McLaughlin, who got me 12. He had Cam Little, who got him 9. I had the Broncos defense that got me 7. He had the Bengals defense that got him 2. And just because I want you guys to know, I had a 23.6 Deebo Samuel on my bench. So it could have actually been worse than it was.
Yeah.
I ended up winning 160.8 to 88.5.
All right, guys, moving on from there, we go to Ref Ball of the Week, and for once, we genuinely actually have some Ref Ball to discuss. So, guys, welcome to Ref Ball of the Week.
What's going on out here?
I want to preface this for the Chiefs fans. This is not Ref Ball because you think you got screwed, okay? All those calls, but like maybe 3, were legitimately against you, and the other ones were ticky-tacky, and you wouldn't be complaining if they all went your way, so fuck off.
Yeah, no, we even saw Patrick Mahomes talk his way out of a penalty in this game. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
And correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but I'm pretty sure I've never even seen anyone, even like Brady, ever talk his way out of a penalty.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that either. I don't think I've ever seen a player talk their way out of a penalty. But Patrick Mahomes, I guess there's a first time for everything.
In fact, when players try to do that, most of the time they either make them go away, or sometimes they even throw the flag because they're being fucking unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, no, arguing with a ref is definitely an unsportsmanlike conduct call.
But yeah, so and then one other one I want to specifically bring up was the pass interference that definitely occurred before that interception Trevor Lawrence threw.
Yeah. How do you miss that?
That was definitely PI.
Yeah, how do you miss that?
But even so, even Jacksonville against the Chiefs and the refs, Jacksonville still won in the most hilarious way possible.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. I loved it. Moving on from Ref Ball of the Week, guys, we move into the player spotlight, and this week we actually have someone who's been around the block a few times. Guys, welcome to Player Spotlight, where we are spotlighting Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, guys, Stephon Diggs coming off a huge week. Nick and I had decided basically instantly, there was no talk needing to be made here, that Stephon Diggs should be the player spotlight. It went exactly like this, in case you guys were wondering. I said, hey, Nick, do you think Stephon Diggs should be the player spotlight? He said yes.
Yeah,
The
there
conversation
really
did not
wasn't
go
any
any
debate
further than that.
about it. Stephon Diggs obviously had a huge week this week.
All right, so Stephon's full name is Stephon Marshawn Diggs. That's a pretty sick middle name.
I agree.
He played college football for Maryland Terrapins,
Terrapins, yeah.
and was selected by the Minnesota Vikings back in the 2015 NFL Draft in the 5th round. By the way,
Wow.
Stephon Diggs is 6', 191. So, yeah, that's pretty average receiver height, I think.
Yeah.
He played with Minnesota, Buffalo, Houston, and New England so far. And I think, honestly, Nick, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if he didn't get injured on Houston, he might have been able to get another contract out of that.
Oh, I definitely think so, judging from the week he just had.
He's a first-team All-Pro, second-team All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler. He's an NFL receptions and receiving yards leader back in 2020. He was part of the All-Rookie team and a second-team All-Big Ten. So, by the way, guys, if you don't know, he kind of already has a resume to be in the Hall of Fame right now. Not
Yeah,
for his ballot or
definitely
anything,
does.
but he can make it there. Diggs became a full-time starter for the Vikings midway through his rookie year, despite his late-round draft status. He became part of an effective receiving tandem alongside Adam Thielen, who, by the way, did return to the Vikings earlier this season. And his highlights included catches like the Minneapolis Miracle, obviously one of the most iconic plays of recent memory.
Oh, yeah.
Diggs received a 5-year contract extension, playing 2 more seasons in Minnesota before being traded to Buffalo, and kind of helping, actually not kind of, definitely helping Josh Allen break into who he is now. With the Bills, he became the fastest receiver to surpass 100 catches with his new team and broke Eric Mold's franchise record for receiving yards in a season. Diggs led all NFL receivers in 2020 with 127 receptions for 1,535 yards. He was then traded to the Texans in 2024 and later signed a 3-year deal with the Patriots. Diggs attended, actually, Our Lady of Good Counsel High School in Montgomery County, Maryland. He played football and ran track. That's actually pretty cool. He recorded 810 receiving yards and 23 touchdowns as a junior in 2010.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of receiving yards for a high schooler. Like, damn, did his quarterback even throw to anyone else?
And he was runner-up for the Gatorade Maryland Player of the Year. As a senior, he did take a step back with 770 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's funny to say that that's a step back.
That's a step back? Bro, if that's a step back, I don't know what you call freaking Justin Fields, because holy crap.
He racked up 277 rushing yards and 3 more touchdowns. And by the way, guys, he also played some defense, too. He had 31.5 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, and a sack.
Nice. So our boy's just an athlete then.
Yeah, boy was an athlete indeed. He was a first-team All-Metro selection at wide receiver by the Washington Post and All-County selection by the Montgomery Gazette. Following his senior season, he was named MVP of the U.S. Army All-American Junior Combine in 2011 and was invited to play in the 2012 U.S. Army All-American Bowl. In track and field, Diggs competed as a sprinter in 2011, where he placed 7th in the 100-meter dash in the prelims of the Bill Carver TNF Classic with a time of 12 seconds. That's really fast, actually. And helped lead his 4x200-meter team to a third-place finish with a time of 1:32.1 minutes. The members of the relay consisted of fellow NFL players Kendall Fuller and Blake Cortis.
and a national champion 400-meter sprinter, Sean Sutton. As a senior, he recorded a personal best time of 22.3 seconds in the 200-meter dash. A consensus five-star recruit, Diggs was viewed as one of the best players in the nation. He was considered the second best wide receiver recruit in the nation and was rated #1 recruit in the state of Maryland by Rivals.com. He was ranked the number 13 prospect in the nation and the number 3 athlete in the class of 2012 by ESPN. Obviously, he was offered scholarships to Florida, USC, Ohio State, and Auburn, but obviously settled for the University of Maryland. So Nick's right here like, damn, we could have had him too.
Yeah, for real. Wide receiver university.
Diggs accepted an athletic scholarship to attend University of Maryland in College Park, where he played on Coach Randy Edsell's Maryland football team from 2012 to 2014. As a true freshman, Diggs played 11 of the 12 games at wide receiver and on special teams, missing one game due to an ankle injury. He ranked second in the Athletic Coast Conference and 8th nationally with a 172.4 all-purpose yards per game, while his 1,896 all-purpose yards was second most in a single season in school history, trailing only Torrey Smith, yes, that Torrey Smith, who posted 2,192 yards in 2009. He ranked 5th in the conference in receiving yards per game, 2nd in kick return yards on average, and 5th in punt return yards. He led the team in receptions with 54, yards with 848, and touchdowns with 6. In his first collegiate game against William and Mary, he caught 3 passes for 30 yards and returned 3 punts for a total of 50 yards. We're going to move to his sophomore year now. As a sophomore in 2013, Diggs played in only 7 games, missing the final 6 of the season after suffering a season-ending injury against Wake Forest. He was an honorable mention for an All-ACC selection by the media and coaches despite the injury. He began his sophomore campaign with an impressive game against FIU, recording 98 yards and a touchdown and 70 yards of kick return yardage. His impressive play carried over to Old Dominion by recording a career-high 179 yards and a touchdown, earning ACC Receiver of the Week honors. He had 110 yards and a touchdown against Connecticut. However, that Maryland lost that game 34-10. To end off his sophomore season, he had 34 catches for 587 yards and 3 touchdowns, which isn't bad, all things considered. Finally, in his junior season, he ended up having, looks like, they don't show his stats for that year for some reason. So for his college stack totals, he had 2,227 receiving yards, 13 touchdowns. He also had 187 rushing yards, 1,472 kick return yards, and 2 kick return touchdowns, plus 220 punt return yards in his college career. Professional, he obviously did pretty well, was drafted late, however, because obviously a lot of receivers do.
My boy was the original Puka Nacua.
Yep. And then we're just going to go down to his player stats so we can try to abbreviate this a little bit. He has played 149 games and started 141 of them in his NFL career. He has 886 catches, 10,850 yards, 70 total touchdowns. He also has 170 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown as well. In the postseason, he has 909 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he's actually been pretty good in the playoffs when he does reach them. Diggs' younger brother Trayvon obviously plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Diggs' father died in 2008, leaving Diggs, who was 14 at the time, to take more responsibility as a father figure to his younger brother, which is why he ultimately chose to stay close to home when choosing a college. Diggs has 2 daughters. In 2024, Diggs was rumored to be in a relationship with rapper Cardi B, and on June 1st,
2025. The latter publicly confirmed their relationship on Instagram, and on September 17th, Cardi B announced that she was pregnant with her fourth child and their first child together. He appeared as himself on American Dad episode Nasty Christmas in December of 2024, a show which he has been a longtime fan of. And that is it for our player spotlight.
So, guys, there it is, the player spotlight of Stefon Diggs, who obviously had a big revenge game against his former team. Kenny, you said you're skipping over Charged Up and just going to go do the other one?
Yeah, I'm going to do the Tampa Bay one this week.
All right, guys, welcome to Tampa Baker's Bay. Kenny really doesn't have a lot to say, apparently, about his Chargers, because apparently it's just a lot of copy and paste from last week. So, Kenny, the floor is yours.
All right, guys. So obviously, let me make sure I clarify the Charged Up thing. Due to it being basically the same thing that happened last week, where offensive line got injured and everything went downhill, I didn't want the entire segment to just be the same thing, just maybe reworded a little bit. So instead, I decided to fall back on Tampa Bay, where I have more to say than what I would have had with the Charged Up segment. So Nick already brought up, obviously, Baker Mayfield has been dragging his nuts across everybody's face that he's been playing this year, to the point where I don't think the Bears play him, but I'm sure if they did, you'd hope he does not drag his bear nuts across your team's face either. Baker has been obviously on one this season, and I honestly think there's a chance that he could really solidify himself as a MVP frontrunner if he keeps playing the way he is. Though there are some people ahead of him, obviously, I think he does have the ability to definitely leap into that conversation. For those that do not know, obviously Tampa plays the 49ers this week, who's injury riddled. However, as we also have heard as well, they have some injuries on specifically the secondary to look out for. And the Bucs do not have an easier task moving forward either, as the very next week they do have to play the Lions. So they have back-to-back really tough games. Obviously, we know how well the rookie has been playing in Mbuka. He's obviously kind of broken out pretty quickly there for Baker. He's been his security blanket. He's been scoring quite a few touchdowns too, and he's been getting a lot of yardage as well, which obviously is a thing that my co-host here is definitely smiling about, because as we know, that rookie is from Ohio State, and he is an Ohio State fan.
Yes, sir.
Baker has not had Mike Evans for, I think, only one game, maybe two so far. And he just got Godwin back the week he lost Mike Evans. So he's been largely having to rely on Mbuka to get the ball down the field. Baker's been winning all his games by one score. He also lost his one game, or the games he's lost by one score. So yeah, this is basically a team that can probably beat you by more than that, but due to their secondary situation, the games stay moderately closer than they should be, probably. So with Tampa, the other things to worry about is Chase McLaughlin, though he has bounced back, started out the season pretty slow, missing a few kicks that were pretty crucial, and getting a few blocked when they played Philly, which obviously led to a loss. But overall, I think Tampa's played pretty good. They've played up to their potential, I believe, and maybe a little bit below due to their injuries, but have still obviously dominated the NFC South. Baker is, or Bucky Irving, I believe, is expected to potentially play, but he also might miss this week. I haven't really gotten confirmation on that yet. But even so, Baker has proven that even without his top running back, they can still win games, as we previously stated against the Seahawks. This coming game against the 49ers is definitely going to be a good measuring stick for both sides. Is Baker and Tampa going to be able to get past a team like the Niners, who are injured to all hell? Is Mac Jones really that good, or has he just been a bit lucky maybe in a few of these games? that I think both of the sides are going to get some answers, I think, here. I do want to say, Nick, we haven't really brought up awards very much, but you got to put Kyle Shanahan up there for Coach of the Year at this point.
Oh, definitely.
What he's done with a lot of his 23 players injured is basically the same thing the Lions did last year, but with a lot less talent. But really, the last little thing I have to say about Tampa is, obviously, this is my second team as of now. If the Chargers do lose to the Dolphins, we're not going to scrap the charged up segment entirely. It will still be there. But I'll basically be mostly rooting for the Buccaneers for the remainder of the year. If the playoffs come along and they're both there, maybe we'll open the charged up segment back up. But there's a lot of time between here and there. And yeah. But that's it for me. And we're going to kick it over to my co-host for his segment.
Well, guys, with the Bears on a bye this week, obviously, I don't have really much to say because they didn't do anything, which means welcome to the return of the Houston Huddle.
Houston, we have a problem.
Who, of course, Houston scores a big win over the Baltimore Ravens, who are an absolute mess. As Kenny said, this game was an absolute blowout when we recapped it. CJ Stroud finally looking like his old self, at least for a game. I don't want to say that he's back, but he definitely played like his old self this past week, which is weird to say going against the Baltimore defense, a unit that is usually known for being very stout. So that was a little strange to see, but I'm not going to contest it. CJ Stroud had a really good week this week. The offense obviously started clicking. Despite the rough start, if they didn't have the rocky start to the season, this team is probably easily in the lead for the AFC South, and which is weird to say because the Colts have been absolutely dominating everyone. But with that said, I am kind of genuinely looking forward to the Texans and Colts meeting up again, because I feel if CJ can play the way he did this week and the offense can start clicking the way it has been, that will be a pretty fun game to watch. With that said, not really much else to say about the Houston Huddle. However, guys, we do have something fun that we wanted to add this week. So we don't really know what we're going to call it yet. We're just going to substitute it with the Bear Down More segment for this week because unfortunately the fan base we are going to talk about is the Chicago Bears. But this is basically just going to be a rapid fire segment of dumb shit Bears fans say. So guys, welcome to Bear Down Some More, where we recap dumb shit that Bears fans say. Kenny, would you like to start us off or should I?
I'll let you start us off, and then I'll go ahead and go after you on this one.
Okay, guys. This one comes straight from X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Bear, I'm not gonna name names. I just feel like that's unfair. But wore my Caleb Williams jersey to work today. Some guy on the L, for those of you who don't know what the L is, it's what we call the train in Chicago, stopped me just now and said, "Wish he fell to us, man. I'm a Commanders fan, by the way." Wow. Yeah, I'll take shit that never happened for 800, Alex.
Okay, so I don't have anything in front of me, but I do remember this conversation I had with someone the other day. This kind of loops back to something that was talked about before. This was obviously after the Chargers lost to the Commanders. He said, "Oh, Caleb would have won that game." And then I said back to him, by the way, guys, he had a chance to win that game last year, and last time I checked, he didn't, and that broke your guys' backs in half, so I wouldn't be talking.
All right, back to me. Another dumb shit. Well, I guess we kind of went over the first one. The first one and the last one. The first one on the list was, I'm glad we took Caleb over Jaden Daniels. Caleb's the better long-term option. In what sense of the word? In what world? But since we kind of went over that with the last one, Our new stadium plan looks like a knockoff of the one in Vegas. I don't want to play in a dome. So you don't ever want Chicago to host a Super Bowl then?
Yeah, that sounds like what he's saying. This next one, I'm going to loop back to something Caleb said himself, and we touched on this last year, but I still find it absolutely hilarious because it's still brought up to this day. When he told his new punter, "You're not going to have to punt very much," and up until very recently, that's been a lie.
Yeah, that was not a smart move. As Torrey Taylor ended up punting more times than anyone in the league. Caleb paints his nails joke is so overused. Bull crap, it isn't. Because, first off, when he plays great, it means we get to say that he absolutely beat down a team. That the team that just got beat down by a man who paints his fucking nails. No, that joke is not overused. That joke is hilarious. Stop pretending it isn't. Stop it.
By the way, guys, this is something kind of stupid a Bears fan said, but also because I wanted to put it out there. His stupid claw thing he does, Jaden was doing, or waving to fans, and people were like, "Oh, he's doing the bear claw thing, blah, blah, blah." No, he's waving at a fan, and also Caleb stole that for Jenna Ortega's character in You, so, yeah, get bent.
Yeah, no, I mean, Caleb's stealing it, so, you know, again, guys, Jaden Daniels does not want to be Caleb Williams. I don't think any quarterback in the league wants to be Caleb Williams. I don't care that we went on a franchise-long losing streak. Caleb is so clutch. This is mostly referring to the Raiders game that happened 2 weeks ago, where we won because of dumb luck.
Also, yes, he beat the Cowboys, but we've seen the Cowboys defense. Their Cowboys defense is not that good. If Dak had a little more time that game, then who knows? It might have went the opposite way. Like, come on, Bears fans. I think even Tame agrees. If Dak had a little more time in that pocket,
I definitely think that that game is a lot closer than it was. Yes.
Also, one more thing. Again, another stupid thing the Bears fans still say to this day. Caleb is better than Justin Herbert at fucking what? At what?
I mean, Bear fans like to pretend that this kid's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Tom Brady doesn't really need arguments as to prove why he's the greatest. So why does every Bear fan alive feel the need to argue that Caleb is great?
Also, guys, Tom Brady even said it himself. If Herbert can get time in the pocket and have a line that doesn't sell him, he'd be the greatest quarterback in the league right now. And
the GOAT has spoken.
The GOAT has spoken.
The GOAT has indeed spoken. Last thing I have that Bears fans say, this is mostly going back to last year. We've beaten Green Bay one time in the last 10 meetings, so we own them now. Really? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know, Nick. Last I checked, you have to, dominate a series to own anybody.
Yeah, one win in the last 10 meetings does not constitute ownership.
Like, for example, Nick, did you hear me say, "Oh, we own the Chiefs now because we beat them in Brazil"?
No.
No, because I have IQ higher than a fucking goldfish.
Kenny, do you have any more, or are we done with this segment?
I think we're good on this one.
All right, guys. So from there, guys, we go into the meat and potatoes of this show, the main segment of the show, the segment the show is named after. And boy, oh boy, guys, we have a big one this week. Welcome to Fuck Up of the Week.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And Mark Sanchez, how the hell do you butt fumble this? You went from stabbing victim to felon in the span of 72 hours. Bro. Kenny, would you like to drop the details on the fans that may be unaware of what happened with this man?
Yeah, let me go ahead and real quick just find the post, because I had a post up that explains it pretty well. By the way, guys, there was a runner-up for this award as well, but because of the update we got about Mark Sanchez, we ended up giving it to him instead. I'll bring that up once I'm done reading the story here.
And let me just say, guys, it's appropriate that we get Mark Sanchez on this segment because he's literally the icon for Fuck Up of the Week.
Former NFL quarterback and Fox Sports analysis, Mark Sanchez faces a level 5 felony battery charge following an alleged attack on a 69-year-old truck driver. Nice. Perry Toll outside an Indianapolis bar on October 4th, escalating from a parking lot dispute into a violent confrontation that left Toll with several facial injuries and Sanchez stabbed and hospitalized. Prosecutors identified Sanchez as the aggressor based on the evidence leading to his exclusion from Fox's Week 6 NFL broadcast assignments as legal proceedings continue. Toll has filed a civil lawsuit against Sanchez and Fox Sports alleging assault and battery. I will say this to the trucker. I don't know why you're suing Fox Sports.
Yeah, I feel like this is more of a thing just because he wants more money, which quite frankly, I don't blame him. Have you I don't know if you've seen the pictures of the gash the man has on that went through his cheek and into his tongue, but if you haven't, guys, obviously we're not going to show it on the show. It's far too graphic for me to show it on Twitch, but it certainly ain't no paper cutter blister. It's pretty gruesome.
I also want to state this, guys. We do have we did have another person that could have won Fuck Up of the Week. I do feel like it's worth mentioning, as we all know what happened to Kyron Lacey, correct?
Yeah.
It was proven, mind you, this is now how long after what happened to him, that the thing he was accused of was a lie, and he was actually proven innocent this long after his passing. So, Fuck Up of the Week also goes to the media to some degree for doing that and allowing this to happen to such a young athlete that had his whole life ahead.
Yeah, agreed. That was definitely messed up, but like we said, guys, we had to include Mark Sanchez in this segment. Obviously, he is literally the picture for the Fuck Up of the Week segment, the infamous butt fumble. Fox Sports, obviously, probably going to resume operations without him in the future. I don't see how this man will have a job if and when he gets out of prison.
Yeah, and this is another kind of co-winner situation, but definitely Sanchez gets the bigger portion of the trophy here.
Yeah, no, it's a whole messed up situation. Again, guys, from stabbing victim to felon. In the matter of fact, it was just about hours before we had updates on it. Anyway, guys, we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to another episode of the Helmet Haven. It was a fun episode, and you know what, Kenny? We made good time, too. Only about an hour and 17, so, we made good time this week. And, again, thank you to everyone that tunes in live. Thank you to everyone that watches back on YouTube. Kenny, anything to say before we sign off?
For those of you that were wondering real quick, we did do a late show. There's some things going on in personal life right now on both sides, so we had to kind of do a later show. We abbreviated it to fit the timeline so we wouldn't cut into Monday Night Football. We might be back to our regular scheduled time next week. It all depends on what's going on between the two of us at the time. But thank you guys for watching this abbreviated show. We obviously appreciate the support we get every week. We also even appreciate the idiots that say we don't know what we're talking about, because we get to prove them wrong. Again,
yeah, no,
and again.
Why do you think we do this, Kenny? It's fun to prove these people wrong.
It really is, but thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, guys, like Kenny said, thank you back for watching, whether you're a lover or a hater. I think we can all find common ground on that we love this great sport, and we will see you guys next week.
I've been talking real shit, y'all been talking crazy. I've been on some new shit, y'all been acting lazy. I've been it, so my words are gon' make it float. I'm like dry ice mixed with alcohol in a bowl, or below zero winter, go and grab a coat. What else can I say? The kid is just too cold. Never told a fib, was born just too bold. Never had to fold, but did break the mold. And as the story's told, if you didn't know, I'm running up the scope. This is DMO. Can you hear me? The some of been minds, man, they better fear me. They need glasses, they can't see see it clearly. I don't chase the money, it just like to come near me. Yearly, truly, my life is a movie. Took her on a date once, now she tryna groove me. I'm really that guy, they gon' have to sue me. Then had the juice, time to mix it like a smoothie. Gruely, they asked me how I get up, I told them had to start down. Found me some real ones, now I got a crew now. Met a loyal girl 4 years later, that's my boo wow. And now I'm out here giving new sounds like boom pow.